The time has come. I'm reacting to the Kardashians. Heaven help us all. Mended light. Welcome to Therapist Reacts Raw, where my producers give me clips from things I've never seen before, and I just react to them in real time using my background and expertise in mental health and healthy relationships. I asked for the white whale, the big kahuna, the grand prize of trashy reality television, the Kardashians. I said, I am never going to watch the Kardashians, but I would love for you to handpick some stuff for me. So here we go. This is Kim and Kourtney fight over work ethic. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's do this. Chloe's house.
Hello.
Nice house.
Yep. Hi, Ken. Welcome home. Welcome back. Thank you. I don't know how you say this is not itchy, but it's very nice.
Seems like fake sweetness.
Oh, Milan and
Oh
London,
my God,
right?
and then Mom tried to bribe me with money.
Oh my God, me too.
But the fact that I know Mom's desperate, and it makes me feel bad because she's stressing out.
She
and
was
doesn't
crying
wanna,
to me earlier. She was like, I don't know what to do. The problem is, if I were on my deathbed, I would still show up. And Mom is so used to me, Kourtney, me and Chloe, going on our
And me.
deathbeds. No, you get anxiety, and it's like
Are
hard.
you f***ing kidding me? Like, I literally will come at you right now.
Why?
I swear to God.
I was just expressing that Kylie not going to Paris and how my mom's freaking out and crying and begging us. She's so used to me and Chloe showing up, especially Chloe, like we would have gone.
I'm sorry. Your mom has to beg and cry to get you to go to Paris? These are your problems? I feel a lot of sympathy. I do.
And begging us. She's so used to me and Chloe showing up, especially Chloe, like we would have gone no matter how sick we are. That's just who we are and who we've always been.
I've been sick as been having major panic attacks. I work my ass off when I'm sick or not.
Okay. I'll cut Chloe a little slack here. Panic attacks are no joke. Anxiety is no joke. And so even though I mock a little bit the first world problems of, oh, our mom's trying to make us go to Paris, I understand if there's family pressure to do something because a family member wants you to do it and it's important to them, but you need time for self-care and mental health work. That's legit. Chloe, good for you. That's a good boundary to draw. It's not about Paris. It's about your mom wanting you to do something and you're saying, I need to look after me or I'm gonna fall apart. That's good.
You just said Mom is so used to, and then I said me, Kourtney, me and Chloe. You know, whenever if we're sick, you don't care about stuff. Like if it's a
but
Saturday.
You act like I don't do shit. Do you know all you have this narrative in your mind?
Not saying that
no,
I will literally you up. If you mention it again, literally shut the up and don't laugh like that. You look like a freak.
Wow.
Okay, but honestly, change the narrative in your mind. I work my ass off.
I don't want to hear this narrative anymore about this work ethic, and she's the only one with work ethic, and she's doing this, this, and this.
Okay, help me out. Because I'm not saying otherwise. I may have the completely wrong idea about who the Kardashians are. What do they do for work? Because it seems to me like they have family money and then they're reality stars who are pampered and rich. And it takes work to maintain a household, but do they do the dishes in their own house? Do they do the cleaning? When it comes to the business operations, are they managing the business? Are they working for pleasure and fulfillment, which is great. Like they don't need the money, but they work for fulfillment or to make a difference in the world. But help me understand the context here, because there's an argument over work ethic, and I just don't see this is a group of workers. They're arguing over work ethic as they lounge in their giant bedroom. And I don't get it. Please help me. Help me understand. Let me know in the comments below if you follow the Kardashians. What the hell is going on?
As if she's better because she works more or because, like, it's such bullshit. We don't all have to do things the same way.
But also, if I didn't want to work my ass off and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, that's fine, you literal
literally.
Whoa.
Come here.
Whoa.
You guys, my daughter's sleeping.
Don't ever come at me like that. Don't. I swear to God, I'll punch you in your face.
So do it.
Don't with me. I swear to
Do
God.
it already.
This is so staged.
Dilly and dilly. Stop. Okay.
Ooh,
Stop.
woo.
You too. Okay. Stop. Go to your own corners.
Wait, no.
That's some Jackie Chan crap. Oh, wow.
Shut the up. Ever.
You too.
Do it or shut the up.
Okay.
Ever dig your nails in me like that.
Stop it.
How old are you? How old are you?
Stop sleeping. Guys, stop.
Ooh.
How old are you?
No, both of you. Okay, separate. No.
Whoa. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is staged, but that looked like some real slappage, like taking one for the team. The reason I question it is because where the cameras are getting the footage from, there's like several shots that are happening that if it were happening live, the videographers would be in each other's line of sight. They would be catching each other on camera, but they're not. And so it seems like they're getting it from one angle and then taking it from another. But that's okay. I'll play along with the fantasy. Let's go with this. Kourtney says, and she's absolutely right, if I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, that's fine. Here's what I will say, and some of you will say, well, you don't have a dog in this fight, so you don't get to have an opinion. But I agree with the core tenets of feminism, right? The core tenets, because there's all sorts of different ways to practice and different ways to see it. And so not all feminists agree on what feminism is, just like not all Christians agree on what Christianity is, right? So, but the core tenets of feminism, equal rights, equal opportunities, and you're not limited by gender on choosing who you want to be or how you want to be. I agree with that. I think that's beautiful. But I know women who have chosen to be stay-at-home mothers, and that's fulfilling for them, and that's what they want to do. And they're shamed and treated as if they're taking a step backward for women, or as if they need to go out and have a career, otherwise they're a blight on the feminist movement. And I don't agree with that, because at the core of what feminism is supposed to be is we're freeing you up to choose your life. So what if you choose a traditional path? Okay, as long as it's your choice and not something you're pressured to do because of your gender, who can argue with that? I equally think it's valid if a man wants to be a stay-at-home parent, right? If you're in a cisgendered heterosexual relationship, the man wants to stay home and the woman wants to go work, who's to say no? I think that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. And then, of course, in non-binary relationships, like it's all just fluid. It's like you choose who you want to be. So that's a valid point. What I'm not crazy about right here is how they're resolving conflict, or rather not resolving. They're escalating. Again, I think it's staged, but we'll pretend that it's not. They're escalating around family members, saying mean and nasty things. I don't know who's trying to break them up, but whoever, I don't know that family member's name, but is saying basically go to your corners, right? And that's wise counsel. Because when you're angry, you feel justified and you feel like you're right. And maybe when you calm down, you'll still see things that way. But generally speaking, when we're angry, it's because we're hurt, we're defensive, and we're in the space where we want to protect ourselves or lash out at the other person. Generally speaking, in my experience, can I take the other person's perspective? Only after I calm down can I see what's mine to own and what I'm accountable for in our conflict, right? I can't do that when I'm escalating. And they just ramped up and went with it. And the reason they ramped up and went with it is because they haven't really had this conversation before, from what I can tell. She's like, if you say this one more time, I'm going to F you up. And then Kim looks all shocked, like, you've never told me this was a problem. You've never told me that this hurt your feelings. You never told me, right, that you disagreed. That there needs to be a calm conversation about this, using I statements. When you say this, I feel this. And an exercise in empathy and accountability. Instead, this is what we got. What looks like is the aftermath is my next clip.
You okay?
Yeah, but she's gonna get the out of here. She came on me.
Kim, come on.
I'm so confused at what just happened. I just don't understand
whoa,
who Kourtney's
hold up.
confused at what just happened.
There was a
I just
Kardashian.
don't understand who Kourtney's
Washing a wall. They do work in their own home. Good for them. They're so down to earth. Look at them. Especially when the camera's on.
confused at what just happened. I just don't understand who Kourtney's become. Like, who does this?
She didn't even know what I was gonna
You guys,
say.
my daughter's sleeping.
But she should leave.
She's literally bleeding. No,
There's
it's
camera.
crazy.
I'm not about violence and I don't want to go there, but I just literally just like saw red, and like I wasn't gonna let her think that she could attack me.
Question. If some of this is real emotion, how do you sign on for people to be there in your space capturing your ugliest moments and put that before the world? And what does that say about you, right? I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying this isn't reality because that's not how most people operate. But she says, I saw red and I didn't want to let her talk to me like that. And a lot of people describe it that way. They see red, they get angry, they stop thinking clearly. It's called emotional flooding. It's called arousal. Arousal is any emotion that gets so strong that you stop thinking clearly. So what do? We need to stop and calm down. We need to self-soothe or release the anger through catharsis. Catharsis is when you channel the anger in a direction that's not going to hurt anybody. And that's not what happened here.
And get away with this.
I think you guys need to separate.
She's the problem and she should leave. That's in your head too. You have
No,
this
everyone
narrative in
thinks
your
it.
Everyone who?
Chloe?
Chloe
Me?
doesn't know what the when have I had
Okay, so Kim is calling on everyone thinks this as, instead of hearing, hey, what I said hurt you, or it's just my perspective, she's saying, no, I was right and I'm digging in my heels. Everyone thinks this about you. You need to get off your high horse and see yourself this way and make changes, or at least own that you're a lazy piece of crap, right? That's not accountability. That's not perspective taking. That's just pride.
have I had
Kendall,
any interaction with
Kylie,
you guys? I will f***ing never
Everybody
be
needs to
around
calm
you guys.
down.
There's
Then
no
bye.
need.
Get
Bye.
out.
Exactly.
Get out.
Wow.
But you need to
But why
shut
did
the
touch
up
her?
because she won't leave me
She
the
done
alone.
talking.
Shut the up. I'm not here to listen to this false narrative every day from my family.
But if everyone is the same narrative, shouldn't you look in the mirror?
Because you guys are wrong. What the am I different
You've
about?
just been rude to all of us this entire time.
Okay, is Kourtney, you guys tell me, is Kourtney lazy? Does she not have good work ethic? Is Kim right? Is she not willing to look in the mirror at herself? Like, Kim's approach was clearly not healthy and doesn't serve the situation. But does Kim have a point? And that's something when people say things that we find hurtful or triggering, sometimes they're triggering because we believe they're right. They're speaking to our worst fears about ourselves, our worst insecurities, and we don't want other people to see them. And when someone else sees them, we get very defensive and push back. So here's a life rule. If someone says something about you that you find hurtful, stop, calm down, and then assess. Is there any truth to it? Even if it's twisted, how they've presented it, even if it's blown out of proportion, even if I disagree with 90% of it, is there 10% of it or 5% of it where I'm like, there's a kernel of truth there. There's an opportunity for growth and self-improvement for me. If the answer is yes, then take it, accept it, own it, and work on it. And be accountable for the 5% that you can agree on. If the answer is honestly no, not you're in an elevated aroused space and you're defensive, but you're calm and you've assessed it, and the answer is no, they're 100% wrong, that's not true, then it doesn't matter what they say anyways. Because all that really matters is the esteem with which you hold yourself. You will always, always, always have people who misunderstand you and misrepresent you. And if you live your life fighting off every person who sees you differently than you see you or sees you incorrectly, that's all you're going to spend your time doing. Trust me, I am now, through my own efforts, but I'm something of a public figure. I have people who admire me and admire what I do. I've got a lot of haters. I've got a lot of people who say a lot of hurtful things about me. And sometimes what they say gives me pause and gives me, even though I don't like how they said it, I'm like, there's some truth to that. That hurt. But it hurt because there's truth, and that can help me be better. I don't appreciate being trolled online or roasted online, but I do appreciate the opportunity for growth. And other times I look at it and I'm like, they're just speaking from their own prejudice. That's not me at all, and I don't even need to worry about that.
Kim and Chloe really gang up on me together, and I feel like my attitude is a reflection of how they're treating me. Like, I don't know, it just set me off, and I just lost it and couldn't take it anymore.
Do you think I want to come into this negative environment
But how
with
did
you
we
guys
even get on
every
this?
f***ing day? Like, it's
I thought we were
torture.
talking about Kendall.
Oh my God, we've
I don't know
moved
how-
on. We're done. That conversation's done.
And you get upset when I'm
Because
asking you real
every day
questions.
is your
So it's Kendall who
attitude,
didn't want to go to
and
Paris
your
because of
f***ing
anxiety.
attitude
So then get
every
out.
day.
So then
Leave us
go.
alone. I don't see you at film filming, you're completely fine when we're not in this environment. But actually,
So in therapy, I wouldn't let this continue. This is going nowhere productive. Everyone's just staying in their perspective because they're so highly aroused, they're so emotionally flooded, they're not going to be able to truly hear one another. They're listening to respond, not listening to understand. They've already decided what they think is right, and everything another person says is something they need to disprove. That's the headspace they're in. In therapy, I would encourage everybody to stop. They would do some box breathing, or they'd do something else to self-soothe, slow their heart rate down, to increase blood flow and oxygen to the brain so they can think clearly. And then I'd have them re-engage with one person in the speaking role and the others in the active listening role, right? Listening to understand, listening, looking for things to take accountability for, not listening to pick it apart or find fault with it. Take turns doing that. And as each person takes accountability for what's theirs, it makes it easier for everybody else to do the same. And pretty soon, a sizable chunk of this is resolved because nobody is being expected to be the bad guy while the others get off the hook. When everybody steps into accountability, what happens is 80% of it might be resolved, and 20% of it is we're just not going to see eye to eye on this. We don't have the same perspective, and that's okay.
So it's us or you or what?
I don't want to be
Then
near
go.
your fat ass,
Then
okay?
go.
I don't
You're
actually the
Personal
fat
attack.
Don't scream when my daughter's sleeping.
up.
Shut the
Stuck in this
up.
f***ing trap.
Don't scream when my daughter's sleeping. She said that over and over and over again. And I perceive the Kardashians as a bunch of self-involved, entitled people. Am I wrong? If I'm having a shouting match with a family member and someone says, hey, my kid is sleeping, I'm going to go, let's keep talking outside. And we're going to go outside. And if we're going to keep screaming at each other, fine. But there's so little regard for anybody else here. And this is what we marinate in as a culture. I mean, it's good for business for people like me.
Shut the
Stuck in this
up.
f***ing trap.
I don't understand why there's all this judgment about the way that we each want to live our lives. We should be accepted for what we each want to do, and it's not
true.
a positive environment for me to want to be in every day when I feel like they're so critical of me. Every day that I'm coming in, I'm like, why am I choosing to be in this environment? And
So here's the thing about Kourtney. The way she talks to the camera is the way she needs to talk to her family. Because right now she's being vulnerable. Right now she's being raw and real. And she's not lashing out and accounting. She's not lashing out and attacking. She's saying, this is how I feel. If she could do this with her siblings, it could make a world of difference if they could all do this with each other. But she could take the lead and model it.
I was gonna say.
Also, it was me and you.
Wait, but what I'm confused about is why would you get that mad? I don't understand. That's crazy to me.
I think Kim and I both are really surprised as to how things escalate.
It's not crazy. When we have quote unquote big reactions or what others see as overreaction, it's because it's not about just this moment. It's about all of the experiences that are tied to that emotion. Kourtney, what we just saw was a long time coming and should have been resolved before it got this big. And that's not just on Kourtney, that's on the entire family for making it safe for her and for each other to talk about small things before they become big things.
We don't really know where all of this has come from. We know that there's been friction recently, but I don't think any of us knew it was this bad and heavy.
So, what do you think about the Kardashians? What do you think about this fight? If you had to pick a side, whose side are you on? I'm more just interested on a human level in that, because as a therapist, that's not the best question for me to ask. What I want to know as a therapist is, how would you recommend resolving this conflict? Have you had big blow-ups with your family that went ugly? And what do you wish you had done differently? Or have you had what could have been big blow-ups, but actually went well? What did you do, or what did somebody else do, so that it stayed calm and that it stayed respectful? Let me know in the comments below. If you want help navigating conflict in your relationships, we have a course called Closeness Through Conflict on our membership site. You can take it solo as a self-guided, or you can meet with one of our counselors and they can help you to apply and troubleshoot as you go. Go to mendedlight.com to schedule a complimentary 15-minute consultation with a member of our team today, or follow the link in the description to sign up for our membership site at a discounted rate. It's the opening rate. It's not going to stay this way forever. Speaking of explosive confrontations, if you enjoyed this, check out Therapist Reacts to Will Smith and Chris Rock. I know it's been a minute, but boy, did I have thoughts. Take a look at that. Until next time, folks, keep shining. We need your light.